Hello there and welcome to another Cosmoconscious Academy video. I'm Hafa and I help you wake up to who you are and to the cosmic reality that's around us. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you an astral projection experience. I'm actually gonna share with you about three because one is connected to the other, and I don't know how my face looks like. If it's kind of weird, I'm gonna ask you not to mind it, because my cat has just passed away yesterday and I'm dealing with it better than when my other cat passed away, because I wasn't mature enough, I guess. But we usually cry, right? And the first experience is about, because yesterday, it's like from the day before yesterday up to yesterday morning, something like that, I found out that he had passed away. And tonight I had an experience with him and I saw that he was okay. So yeah, I just like to say that if you're going through that, because a lot of people go through that when a pet passes away and they're worried. When it happened when I was younger, I kind of cried for a month because I was like asking for somebody to take care of her. It was a female cat and I was like, oh my god, I can't take care of her anymore, something like that, and I was so worried. But things have changed, right? It's been almost 10 years now, and what has helped me a lot was that I know that life goes on. I already knew it, but I didn't have the amount of information that I have today. So even though I cried, it was sad, I cried today as well, because I had the experience like this morning. So I woke up and I don't want to really talk much about that, but I was pretty sure that I already knew that life goes on, alright, but I was pretty sure that he has been taken care of and he's okay. So I really, I don't know how easy it is for you to, somebody's calling me. Okay, I don't know how easy it is for you to process it. But after having so many experiences and studying and knowing how things work, and after this experience, especially after this experience, that I knew that he was well taken care of and he was recovered and he was happy, right? And we suffer because we get attached, right? And we have feelings and all that. But yeah, just maybe you're going through something similar, just know that there is always support on the other side, especially for pets, because they don't do anything wrong, right? So alright, so let's move on. So about the other two experiences I had. So one is the one that, like, I'm really grateful to all of my guides and everybody that's involved, that it was so fast that I got like feedback on his situation and all that, and I'm really, really grateful. So, but the other two experiences, they're like one, but they seem to be two, because it started in one way and then the scenario changed. But it was a lucid astral projection, and I think it's interesting to share them with you so you can... We always learn with other people's experiences, and maybe there will be something new, you know, and maybe you'll identify with something, because I think we gotta share this kind of information. We don't have a lot. There is research, there are some things that, for example, there are books, there are even documentaries. I don't know if in English there probably are, right? But there's still a lot to be shared and discovered. So I think it's important to share some experiences every now and then with you, and you can do all this. You can do the same, right? You can write them in the comments or maybe record your own videos. So I was out of my body and I was walking around the house. I was outside, and there were like 0 walls, right around the house, but in that dimension there weren't any walls. Sometimes the scenario changes a little bit because it's not exactly the same in each and every dimension, even like the ones that are real close, they seem to be more similar, but there are always some changes, and as the vibration is a little bit more different, it can be more different, the scenario can be more different as well. And I was walking nearby and I saw a woman, and I knew I was out of my body and she was like a spirit, a ghost, and I decided to approach her. Sometimes we know that that person's meant to be like approached, you're at the right place at the right time, but in this experience I wasn't so sure about that. It wasn't like during this last night, it was like on the day before yesterday, but I decided to record it today because if it takes a long time, we start forgetting stuff. Even if we write stuff, I don't know, it seems to start fading away, the feelings and all the perceptions. So alright, so I just like to say that it wasn't like during the last night, but this woman, she was like middle-aged, and she wasn't bad, but alright, but I when I approached her, I wasn't like so sure. I didn't have that feeling that like I was meant to approach her, but I tried, because sometimes we're just supposed to like plant a seed, it's not gonna work now, but maybe it helps her for a next opportunity. I don't know, it helps opening her mind up. So that was basically it. I tried to talk to her, to tell her that there are other dimensions, that life can be better, because in my opinion life is not just this life, there's life, real life too, after death, what we call death, right? So and she kind of agreed with me, but she didn't really feel like moving forward. I think she was like in her comfort zone and she didn't really want to change, So I couldn't do anything. She kind of pretended that she was going to, like, because I said that there's a team, that there are people available to help if you really want to change, if you really want to move on, She kind of agreed, but she was like faking it, So I was like, okay, I can't help her right now, because it's all about decision, right? You only change when you want to change, basically. I don't know what was like, what was in her mind, right? But I noticed that it wasn't the time for her yet. So I was like, I'm leaving, right? I didn't even say anything. I just went up, right? Started flying, and she was like, oh, "Give me your hand." She wanted to fly with me too. I was like, "No, it's gonna be a mess." And these people, like, sometimes you can't trust them. It's complicated because I don't know. They kind of get corrupted, you never know when, like, they're not too bad, but sometimes they're kind of mean, because there are like some groups in the astral realm, and whenever you decide not to move forward and others start approaching you, and they're kind of bad people working around as well. You never know. So okay, so I started flying and decided to follow my intuition. basically. And sometimes when I'm flying, I notice that I shift dimensions. I know it's possible to do that intentionally, but most of the times it happens when you change a vibration. I think, like, when I left my body, I was, like, closer to my body's vibration, which is, like, not too... It's not such a high vibration, right? But when I got involved in, like, assisting, trying to help that woman, I don't know exactly what made me shift to this higher dimension, but I noticed that it happens. It's usually when you get involved with something good, with feelings that are good, right? So you start shifting to higher dimensions, and sometimes I don't even notice, but it happens, because I notice when I know that the scenario has changed, the energies are different, and all that. So I was flying and following my intuition, and probably my guides helped me in that process as well. And so I was flying up, and then I saw that there were people having a meeting, and it was up there. They were in a meeting. They were, like, kind of young, but not like they were adults, right? But not old. And then it was like I don't know how to say that, even in Portuguese. It's like a base, right? It was some sort of, because whenever we say a meeting, we imagine a room. It was like a room, but it was up there. It was floating somehow. But it wasn't just a table, it was a room. But I had access to that. And I just sat there with them, and they didn't understand. I kind of thought I wouldn't be doing these things anymore, because sometimes we get into trouble, but I just was, sorry about the barking, I was just following my intuition, and I sat there with them, and they were, like, all looking, staring at one another's faces, like who's this and why is she here? And so I decided I decided to ask them some questions. I took some notes here. I think I asked them about which dimension was that. Yes. So they said it was the 5th dimension. And I asked them if they believed in parallel realities, and they said, like, this is a parallel reality. And what else? Okay, so I decided to ask them which year it was. And they said that there was no time. I swear I was like, it was lucid astral projection. It seems like somebody took some drugs and had an experience, but it wasn't the case. I really knew that I was out of my body. I don't know how I access parallel realities, but sometimes I do. And alright, so they said that there was no time. And I was like, how do you manage your time? Like, how do you do things? How do you, like, organize your, your routine? And how do you even, like, I asked them, how do you manage to have this meeting so you can meet, right, without following any kind of clock and time? And then they said 2 words that first I thought it was Sanskrit, but then because I don't speak these languages, right? But then I thought it was Thai because of the material they had on the table. I think they were studying the Thai language. Because of I don't even know if you call those things letters, but because of the letters, let's say, that I had studied a little bit of Thai a while ago because of some other experiences I had. So I noticed that the alphabet or whatever was written there, it wasn't Sanskrit, it was Thai. And then there were 2 short words that I was so sure that I wouldn't forget them when I woke up. Then I fell asleep again and I forgot them. It was ridiculous. But when I woke up, they were still so clear in my head. Two, like, it sounded like 2 syllables, you know, but I think it was 2 short words, and it was like an ideology, a concept that I was asking them, how do you live with, like, this concept of not having time, you know? How do you manage your routine? How do you get to do things? And then they just answered me these, like, 2 words. And they repeated it, and it was like, all right. And I don't know why I didn't ask them the meaning of that, but it was like a way of living. And for me, I know that, like, time is relative. That, in my opinion, it all happens at the same time, from a cosmic perspective. I really believe in parallel realities and all that. But this way of living, knowing that there's no time, it's pretty different from what we're living right now. And I got really curious, and I'm really happy to have had this experience. And I think it was something worth sharing with you. So you're probably into this kind of stuff as well. And it's always good to know, like, other people's experiences and information. And then, I don't really remember exactly what came after this, even though I was, like, aware there. Sometimes we can't recall everything. I just remember that when the meeting finished, when it was over, it was like one of the people there, a person there, he pressed a button, and then there was a corridor at the end of the room, and many doors started closing, and we had to kind of run before the doors closed. But they were so used to it. There wasn't like something to panic or anything. And I just kind of followed them when I understood what was meant to be done. And I didn't even run with my feet, you know, because when you're in the astral realm, you can just do something like this, you know. It was faster and more practical. You've probably, if you had some experiences, you've probably done it. I know that other people do that as well. And it's pretty cool, right? It's much faster. So, and then I ran on this corridor and I woke up. And when I woke up, I was pretty sure that, like, I was awake, and I had these words clear, that concept, you know, that these words, they had a concept that I don't know exactly what it is. Yeah, but I really would like to know what that meant. And okay, so I woke up, but I was, like, still. And it wasn't like sleep paralysis, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But I had a clairvoyance experience. That one of those guys, he told me that he would leave across a crucifix. In Portuguese we say both words, you know, I don't know which one is more common. But you got it, right? With me. To protect me, and then I was like, can you repeat, please? Because after, and then he repeated it, but not exactly as he said, but it was like I was given a gift. Yeah, and I'm thankful for that too. And it's interesting, right? Because sometimes we may be carrying some objects in the astral realm. We don't have them here. But yeah, it was interesting, and I'm grateful for that. So I really hope you enjoyed the experiences I shared with you. And if you have any kind of similar information, any kind of similar astral projection experience, please share them in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like the video, and share it with a friend or somebody you know that is gonna like this content too. So have a great day, and I'll see you soon.